The Focus Cup Championship is brought to you in association with swanflight.com, international flight case specialists. Well, a massive congratulations to Liam McGill, who sewed up the 2022 championship in our last programme. This is day 2 here at Croft for the Focus Cup Championship. McGill, the champion, Simon Rudd currently in second place, Rich Davis and Callum Eason, and Jake is with a special guest.
Well, I said we had a local star in the paddock for round 7. It's only Max Coates. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Having a lot of fun this weekend.
Well, this is a very different outlet for you because we know you from the Toka paddock, but have you ever raced a diesel before?
No, never. So, raced a fair amount of different things, but never anything with a bit of diesel power.
Okay, so first of all, it's a new challenge then. Tell us what some of the complexities are for you as a driver.
The biggest difference is just that it revs, the power's a lot lower down. So, we're kind of used to going all the way through the red line and almost the top. But in this is sort of before the red line comes in, and it's really noticeable once you kind of go over kind of 4.2, 4.3, 4.5 on the revs, then the power just drops. So yeah, it took a little bit of getting used to in qualifying.
Well, it's Croft, so it's not a massive surprise that you'd come and play here. It's obviously your local circuit, so we should see some interesting stuff from you out there.
Yeah, I mean, Simon that runs the championship, I met him and Robert Cadwell, had a little look around, so come and have a play. So yeah, Croft works, and it was ideal to come and have a go.
And I think it would be easy for people to kind of imagine that you'd come straight in as a Toka paddock driver and flounce the field, but that hasn't quite worked out in qualifying.
No, apparently I'm 5th, I don't really know yet. So yeah, it's like literally jumped in for qualifying and see how we go. So I'm learning, and I think I've no idea what time I need to make up, but I'm sure we'll have a go at it in the race.
And the in-house team are already going to work on your car, trying to get the best out of it for the races. This is a fabulous concept, the arrive and drive nature.
Yeah.
You just turn up and get in and go.
Yeah, I've no idea what they're doing, but they're doing something. So yeah, it's a great concept that everybody's in very much equal machinery and it's all running in-house, and you know, from a driver's point of view, you turn up, have fun and go home. So you know, it's nice and easy, fair and competitive across the board, so an ideal starting place for anybody looking at coming into it.
And as a racing driver who's raced all sorts of different machines in the last decade, what's the atmosphere like coming in as a first timer?
That's quite refreshing, actually, the whole nature of the arrive and drive. But met pretty much everybody this morning. Everybody's been very nice and finding out what I've raced and how I think I might fare, and yeah, how I actually fare might be different. So we'll see how we get on.
And are the tips, hints and guidelines mutual?
Yeah, I help as much as I can, but I think they might be helping me a bit more so far.
Well, round 6 was a bit tricky for Jonathan Baker. We don't talk about that one so much because not a lot happened then, really, did it?
No, well, it started off well. Went P2 in qualifying, and then 2 DNFs, turbo failure and other bits that I don't know too much about. I'm not mechanically minded. A crankshaft sensor, I believe. But yeah, 2 DNFs, very disappointing. But you know, this round is a new round, it's a new day.
Well, that's all ancient history now. Coming in this weekend, there are 2 fresh races, and nobody who is on the grid today has won a race outright this year. So that's a golden opportunity for you.
That is true. All I can do is my best, isn't it? After the last session, which was the qualifying with the P1, it's my first ever pole. So let's see what we can do from the front.
Does that add pressure from your point of view, or is that just another opportunity to do something a bit special here for this weekend?
I think it adds a little bit of pressure, to be honest with you. I mean, I felt a bit of pressure at the last round because my performance at Alton Park and the car's coming good. I'm evolving as a driver. So yeah, the pressure's on a little bit. Gary Mitchell's behind us, who's a absolute fast seasoned driver. So yeah, let's see what we can do.
Well, in round 6 at Croft, it was championship leader and champion-elect Liam McGill in the number 62. Now it's Gary Mitchell. Gary, getting back into the hot seat then. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, nice little guest appearance. It's a little bit different from spannering like I have been all season. So, no, the opportunity came up, so I kind of jumped on it, and I don't mind filling the seat in where it's empty.
It's clearly a fast beast because you were able to put it right up there into the front row of the grid for qualifying.
Yeah, see, Croft's my home circuit, so I've done thousands and thousands of laps around here, and I like Croft as well. And I wouldn't say I was slow neither. So it's nice to get in a quick machine and put it back up the sharp end straight away. So it was quite nice.
And of course, coming into this weekend, we've already been talking to Jonathan Baker about it. There's not a single race winner on this grid in 2022. So that's another opportunity, another new challenge for you.
Oh, there we go. At least there's going to be one new winner on the next race. So it's yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It must be quite rewarding being part of the in-house team. It's a very interesting setup that the Focus Cup Racing Championship has, with everybody working on every car to try and get them out there. It's very much a Three Musketeers attitude in this paddock.
Oh, definitely. There's an awful lot of work goes on behind the scenes just to keep the cars up and running, even just in between races. But even on an evening, we hear you till 10, 11, 12 o'clock some nights, just trying to make sure all the cars are right and squared away, ready for the qualifying for the next day. So it's yeah, it's normally all hands on deck and everyone does what they need to, and 99% we get it there, but sometimes they trip us up a little bit. But no, all in all, it is really rewarding to see the guys go out and be able to do what they do with the cars, and after the work and time we've spent on them.
So a lot to talk about going into race 1. Obviously, it's going to be an interesting one for our pole sitter John Baker, but every single driver out there wants to make sure that race 1 is a perfect starting point for round 7. Over to Richard John Neal to talk us through who's going to become the 4th different race winner in 2022.
3 different race winners so far. 4 drivers have been on the podium as well out of this lineup, so they're going to be keen to get on the top step. Now here's the grid. Jonathan Baker, a great pole position from Gary Mitchell, then Max Coates and Simon Walton. Sean Reynolds and Callum Eason ahead of Richard Avis, Claire Avis, then Greg Saunders, Simon Watts and Sarah Hall. Abby Walton sadly not on the grid, as we look forward to round 15, race 15 of the championship here. Again, 2 races for you today, and very well done. There's Claire Avis in 71, Greg Saunders in the 34, and yeah, super pole position for John Baker. Interesting to hear his thoughts on whether it adds pressure or not. We've got Gary Mitchell alongside him. Gary was twice runner-up in the championship, so a very quick peddler indeed. Away we go, the blue 10, a little bit loose on the start, I've got to say. A little bit jumpy perhaps is the word that I was looking for, as we go in car with Callum Eason around the outside of Max Coates, challenging Sean Reynolds and looking for third position as he goes around the outside of Simon Walton. Those two renewing battle from yesterday. Walton down to 4th, Eason runs wide there, continues to run wide. He was using the wide line to make the move. Very well read there by Callum Eason. A great start for him as Richard Avis makes his way down the straight, but the leader is John Baker in car number 10. The championship winning car of Liam McGill is in second position in the hands of Gary Mitchell. Gary, who has won here twice before in 2019, has also had race wins in the championship at Brands Hatch on different years, looking back at the results. Simon Walton now chasing Callum Eason, and Simon himself a race winner here in it was last August actually, which was good to see. Callum Eason, we are predicting, will get a win before long. He's had a super run. He's out of all the drivers in this grid, has got the most podium finishes this year, the last 6 races on the bounce. So 6 podiums, 6 of them on the bounce, and he's looking for another one here, if not the win. But it's John Baker leading from Gary Mitchell. Callum Eason in the WDE Motorsport car is 3rd. Simon Walton, Sean Reynolds is there as well in the mix, and looks up the inside line, and bang! into Simon Walton's car. That damages the 777, loses momentum. Now what the question is, how damaged is that car going to be after that? He was going into the hairpin, so John Baker coming under pressure from Gary Mitchell. Mitchell performing well in this car. He's had, as I say, this is his first race this year, and he's got the pressure from Callum Eason as well in third place. So Callum taking a nice wide line there to try and get some momentum through the chicane, which is where Gary Mitchell is now. Quick look in the mirrors for Mitchell as he comes out of the chicane onto the straight, chasing the race leader Jonathan Baker. I've got to say, I'll be delighted whoever wins this race, because they're a good bunch of drivers now. As Mitchell makes the look on the inside, Callum Eason looks to try and come through as well. Baker's got to be careful here that he doesn't get hung out to dry. He's in second place at the moment. Callum decided that discretion is the better part of valour there. Well thought out, Callum Eason. So through the Jim Clark S's, it's Gary Mitchell, the race leader. Hasn't raced since Donington Park at the end of last season in the wet. Simon Walton now all over the back of Callum Eason as well. So Simon, I'll tell you what, doesn't seem to be too much the worse for that clatter from Sean Reynolds going into the hairpin on that first lap. Reynolds has dropped back. Reynolds, one of the 4 drivers who had a podium, second position in yesterday's race, a 4th in the reverse grid race 2. It's Gary Mitchell holding sway at the moment. Max Coates getting stuck in. He's right behind Simon Walton in the number 7 car. Is Max quitting himself well on his debut. And I think Max is was to Simon's outside, which is why Simon was giving room on the way into the hairpin. Max is very much there with him as they go across the line again. Gary Mitchell, the race leader here at Croft. Cars crossing the line to tick off another lap in this penultimate race of the weekend. There is the Liquid Moly car that Max Coates is racing, and very close to Simon Walton. Max really learning quickly now. Look at that bit of bump drafting, maybe just letting the boss know that he's there. The Amazon car coming under pressure from Max Coates in the Liquid Moly machine. Max does know the track, doesn't, as Jake alluded to, know these cars at all. So this is very much having to adapt for Max Coates, learning the car. Simon Walton still getting stuck in and having a look at Callum Eason. A little bit of a lock up there from Jonathan Baker in second place. Walton looking a little bit battle scarred, and he's there. We'll have more for you from Croft here after the break. Jonathan Baker in blue 10. He is second position, followed by Callum Eason, then Simon Walton. These 3 drivers seesawing the gap, and 1 minute Callum's under a bit of pressure, the next minute he's pressurising John Baker. Simon Walton sort of holds a few more cards here. It's Max Coates in 5th position, and Callum Eason, there was a bit of smoke from that is a nasty impact for Callum Eason. There was a little bit of what looked like lock-up smoke from John Baker in blue. That is at the very least going to be a safety car. It's a hefty impact for Callum Eason. It's Gary Mitchell, the race leader. Safety car coming out, heavily waved yellows. Let's have a look at what happened again. You don't see the puff of smoke from the blue car there, but you see the speed at which Callum Eason in the WD Motorsport car goes into the tyre barrier. That is a very worrying. It was a worrying looking accident. Callum limping a little bit, but thankfully he's out of the car, and seeing a driver get out is the best news, the best picture we can have. I know his dad, Wayne, and mum Joanne are going to be very concerned. He'll get checked over by the medics. That is, of course, is standard fare at any race meeting in the UK, but the car very much second hand after that off. I'll go back to what I was saying. It looked like the car in front had a lock up, and then Callum spearing off to the right and into the tyre barriers, which did their job. So sadly now the race will resume without Callum Eason. The safety car lights are off. We're in car with Jonathan Baker, still in second position. This is where the incident happened, coming into the complex. Gary Mitchell, the leader. Interestingly now we've got Richard Avis in the 77 car in 4th ahead of Max Coates. So Richard Avis is taking an opportunity to nip through. This is the hairpin, and we'll see Gary Mitchell, who qualified second do the restart, and I think he's about to restart. Well, he hasn't left. Tell you what, John Baker's had a good restart here as well. There is the green flag. We feel a little bit subdued with that nasty looking incident for Callum, but as I say, great to see him out of the car, and he'll be attended to by the medics as we go in. Baker getting a little bit sideways there. Gary Mitchell leads at the restart from John Baker. Simon Walton third, Richard Davis in fourth place. Simon Walton has closed up very quickly indeed and goes around the outside of John Baker to take second position. That was a Callum Eason-esque move here. Simon Walton knows the track very well, being local to here, as does Gary Mitchell. And John Baker passed there. He's got Richard Davis putting him under pressure. Then we've got Sean Reynolds from Max Coates. So Sean Reynolds has done well, and you can see here that we've got the battling Jonathan Baker trying to get second position back. Gary Mitchell is down the road and maintains the race lead. So Simon Walton, as I mentioned, won here last year. Richard Davis took a second place here in 2019, so no slouch either on this circuit. He's up to fourth place. Richard, incidentally, I did a quick tot up of the career points over the 4 seasons that the championship's been running. Richard Davis is the top career point scorer in Focus Cup. Simon Watt second. He's done 4 seasons as well. Sean Reynolds has a moment on the grass, gyrates, hopefully not coming back on track in front of anybody, waits for everybody to go past, rejoins safely. That was right by the book, that rejoin there by Sean Reynolds, but sad to see him getting a gyration as Gary Mitchell takes the checkered flag and the win here at Croft. Second position, Simon Walton, Jonathan Baker third, Richard Davis fourth, Max Coates in fifth position. There is the checkered flag. And Sean Reynolds will finish in 9th position. He managed to rejoin before Sarah Hall and limps home. It was here is Sarah Hall coming up for her 3rd career finish. So again, learning as she goes in the championship, but it was a win for Gary Mitchell, a 5th career win for him and a 3rd win in his career here at Croft. Here's the result: Mitchell from Walton, Jonathan Baker 3rd, Richard Davis 4th from Max Coates, then Greg Saunders, Claire Avis 7th from Simon Watts, and Sean Reynolds, Sarah Hall completing finishers in 10th place.
So, Gary Spanners Mitchell comes home as the 4th different winner in 2022. That's not a bad race for you.
No, not too bad. Fixing them to try not to break them, then finish first. So it's it's nice to get back out, and it's nice to know I've still got it.
It was good to know that you actually had to work for it as well. It wasn't easy right from the start. You really had to get those moves made quite quick.
Yeah, definitely. I knew John was a good starter anyway, obviously watching him all season, and I knew basically first lap, if I could find somewhere that was nice and easy to get past him, then I knew I'd be able to do it. But my favourite passing place is Tower, and there's not a lot of people who really want to try and defend if they don't have to into Tower, so it was quite easy just to sneak up the inside of him and push past, really. So, and then try to run away from everybody.
Well, it's going to be even harder for race 2, because now you're going to have to do that from the 3rd row. How are you looking for that one?
I like overtaking, so it's not too bad. But yeah, at least, like I said, with the accident with Callum, it's good to see he's back out the car, and the guys have managed to look after him and get him back out again, because it looked quite a big heavy shunt from what we've seen when we passed. So it's hat off to him.
So for the 2nd time this season, a podium at Croft for Simon Walton. Not a bad return on your investment in Croft this week.
No, that was terrible. I can't believe Gary Mitchell beat me. No, I mean, obviously, I'm glad Callum's all right. We went off, and I managed to get past John Baker, and I thought, right, I've got Mitchell in my sights now. I'll have him, and come flying down, and I didn't actually see the checkered flag. So I was flying down that straight, and I saw him slow down and waving out the window, and all the marshal's window, and I thought, there must have been a checkered flag there.
So it's going to be an interesting one for race 2. You're going to go off 5th position on the starting grid for the next one, so you're going to have to do some overtakes if you're going to get back on the podium.
Yeah, no, I'm not aiming for a podium in this one. I'm going to let them play now. I've got a couple of podiums, and I'm happy with that. So I'll say, you never know, you get out there and you change your mind, but we'll see how it goes.
But I guess the thing that's on everybody's focus at the moment is just how relieved everybody is after Callum's knock into the wall. That looked pretty awful.
Yeah, I mean, it was just in front of me, and as I turned, he was going off, and then I'm obviously alongside where he's hitting, and the bang was fantastic, tremendous. You know, it just sounded like he'd hit a brick wall, not a tyre wall. You know, but good to see. The next lap, I'm looking for him. I saw he stood up, and obviously they hadn't red flagged it, so there's no ambulance. So that's a big relief that you know they're okay. Then it's always a worry when they red flag the race, because you know they're getting an ambulance to somebody. But you know, it was good to see he was up and about and everything, and the car will mend.
Excellent. Well, we'll get yourself ready for race 2. I think you're going to be in for a very interesting show.
Yeah, we'll see. And the weather stays nice all day as well. It makes a change up north that we're getting a dry weekend.
So round 7 has started completely differently for John Baker. You're back on the podium where you belong. Great to see.
Oh, nice of you to say. Yes, it was. It's nice to be on the podium. I'm a little bit disappointed in finishing 3rd, because I thought I'd protect in turn 2 by going to 3rd gear, and I found 5th, and then I found 5th again. So I lost the place, but I'm a bit gutted about that. But podium's a podium, so you know, onwards and upwards.
And obviously, everybody breathing a huge sigh of relief after the incident for Callum Eason. That must have been quite difficult going around under the safety car, watching that all unfold.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was behind me, and I saw him go past in the rear-view mirror. So I thought he was going for an overtake. So I actually stayed left for the next 2 corners, and then realised he wasn't actually there. So I thought the worst. And when we came round on the safety car, yeah, poor Callum, his car's in the wall, and it looked pretty nasty. But I've just spoke to him, he's all right.
And obviously this now means that you've got an interesting race ahead of you for the second encounter today, because you're going to be going off P4 on the grid. Looks like you're going to have to get those elbows out.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to get the elbows out for sure. I know I've got the pace, as long as the car's okay. I think there's another podium there for sure. That race we just had then, I had no ABS. That was the major issue, and the bearing on the right hand side has got a failure on it of type, so it was a hard car to drive, but we brought it home and get it fixed, and yeah, let's see what we can do in the second one.
Well, if you can get that sorted ready in time for race 2, who knows, you might become the 5th different winner this season.
Oh, let's hope so. I've got it in me. I know I've got it in me this weekend, and the pace is there, so let's see what happens.
A good bit of silverware in race 1 for Greg Saunders as the leading AM driver home. That's a nice way to start round 7.
Yeah, it's a good race. Finished 6th, so that earned me the first bit of silverware. Yeah, good to finally get some little memento.
No pressure or anything, but you're going to be starting race 2 from pole position now. How does that one feel?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's nice to hopefully have a bit of clear track for the first lap at least, get a good start, try and hold off the other guys best I can. I think it'll feel nice if I can get out in front and just have some clear track for the first time. That'll be quite an experience, hopefully.
A lot of the drivers talking about how it was easier to race the car today perhaps than yesterday. What was it like in terms of the changing weather conditions from yesterday to today?
Well, I found qualifying harder, so I think the track's harder for me today, to be honest, than yesterday. But it's relatively similar. I'd say slightly slower today for me in qualifying anyway.
Congratulations to our podium finishers. For those of you asking about Callum Eason, let's catch up with him with Jake.
Well, we all saw how the accident for Callum Eason unfolded in race 1. I'm delighted to say that I'm able to speak to him because it looked pretty bad at the time. Just tell us what it was like out there.
Yeah, so we had a good start. We got round the outside of everyone at turn 1. Thankfully, we all got through and I got to P3. And then the race went along as normal. I was battling with John, and then he broke, and well, I broke before him. I put my foot on the brake and come off it. I went back on it, and I come off and went back on again. And before I knew it, I was on the grass, and then it was just a road to the wall. So. I'm just thankful that I got myself out the car, but the medical staff here are amazing. They made sure I was all right. And everyone around me asking, I can't thank everyone enough for all their support. I think they were more interested in my health than there was the podium going off, so it's good to know that your health's better than some silverware that they've just won.
Well, it's a great atmosphere in Focus Cup, so everybody wants to make sure that everyone gets home safe, and at least, you know, the car's done, you're done for the day, but at least we know that you've got some time before the last round to get yourself ready again.
Yeah, so Brands is our home circuit, and I've done quite a few track days there before. I feel like I'm pretty up there with the pace now. So Brands Hatch, hopefully we can try and seal all of the races possible.
Well, it's frustrating because I think you would have been fighting for the win, if not in race 1, then certainly in race 2. So is that a bit of an extra motivation to spar you on for Brands?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll wake up tomorrow morning probably stiff as anything. So I'll start thinking for Brands Hatch after this next week, I suppose.
Welcome back to the Focus Cup Championship programme. Day 2 here at Croft, and in between races 1 and 2, as regular viewers will know, plenty of work required down in the paddock to get the cars ready for the final outing of the day. Whilst the preparation continues, a great opportunity for our presenter today, Jake Sanson, to nip down to the paddock and have a word with Sarah Hall.
Well, we've seen mechanic Gary Mitchell out on the circuit, but he's not the only one having a play in Focus Cup. The photographer, Sarah Hall, has decided to get behind the wheel. Sarah, this entire weekend, round 6 and 7 at Croft, it's been a bit of a baptism of fire for you having a first proper go at racing. How's it been?
Lost for words, really. Such a mixture of emotions. It's been so much fun, stressful, lots to learn. Obviously, it's my first time out. It's only my second competitive event ever and my first time out with these guys. So there's just so much to learn and there's a lot of pressure I'm putting on myself probably. But I'm really enjoying it and just trying to learn every time I go out.
So with this being a first time for you as a driver, how have you been able to get up to speed and get the understanding of the technical side from the mechanics and the know-how from the other drivers?
So I work within motorsport anyway, so I've got a fairly good basic mechanical knowledge, so I understand some of it, but a lot of it I'm learning along the way. I've got my partner's a coach, so he's helping with that, and my dad's a seasoned racer, so they've both been helping me and filling in the gaps that I didn't know about and hopefully helping me get a better setup.
And coming into a race like this for the first time, when it's all one team looking after the cars, you just show up with the race gear and get in. I mean, how much easier is that than not having to stress about all of the logistical side of things?
It's amazing. I mean, with my dad racing, we've always been used to doing everything ourselves. We're a family team, and that works great. You've got the right people around you, but this is obviously a lot easier, especially when you're new. You can come in and kind of forget about most of it. You just turn up, and then when you get out the car, you can take a bit of downtime and get your head together a bit. So it's really nice having the Focus Cup team working on the car and taking care of everything.
So other enthusiasts who are watching along and thinking, well, this looks like pretty good fun, I should have a go at this. Should they be doing it, and how would you give them a recommendation to get started?
100% do it. I think we doubt ourselves, we think it's not possible, but just do it. I mean, I'm at the back so far, but I'm just learning and learning every time I go out. Hopefully I'll get a little bit faster as I go, but it's just so much fun. It's not as difficult as people think to just get started. Go and get your ARDS licence and just get out there and get in touch with Focus Cup and they'll sort you out.
Well, we've been looking at drivers right from the start of the season, the likes of Abby Walton and obviously Saunders and Reynolds and even John Baker. You know, they've been making massive progress all through the season to the point where they're at the front. So maybe that's how it's going to work out for drivers like yourself.
I certainly hope so. We've had a great coach with Stephen this season as well, helping people out, getting a bit of confidence and improving people's lap times. So hopefully we can keep going in the same direction and I'll follow their footsteps and get a bit faster.
So getting ready for race 2, the first half dozen are reversed, but then so is the second half dozen. So there's going to be a lot of overtaking in this one. And for the first time this year, it's going to be Greg Saunders in pole position. Richard, it's all yours.
Cheers, Jake. Pole position then going to Greg Saunders from Max Coates, then Richard Davis and John Baker, Simon Walton and Gary Mitchell on row 3. Second group of reverse cars, Sarah Hall and Sean Reynolds, then Simon Watts and Claire Avis. So remember, the top 6 get reversed and then the remaining drivers get reversed as well. Max Coates with a good opportunity here, learnt a lot in race number 1 and starts on the outside. We've seen moves on the outside here at Croft, so Max is going to be right in the mix here as they go past the commentary position, the circuit commentary position, and onto the grid. So Greg Saunders in the 34 car, driver who hasn't had a podium thus far this year. And his best result actually, 6th position, best result of the season in race number 1. So well done, Greg. As a little bit of creeping from the front row of the grid, a little bit of excitement. For grid, we've got a car slow away from the grid, which is Simon Walton. That's what he said he was going to do, to be fair. Max Coates passed by John Baker, passed by Richard Avis as well. The top career point scorer, as I mentioned in race number 1. Coates gets his skates on though as they go through Clervaux. Gary Mitchell in the mix as well, getting armfuls of lock as he goes through Hawthorne for the first time and onto the back straight up into the chicane. Massive sort out going on in these early stages. In car with Sean Reynolds starting down in 8th position on the grid. So it's Saunders leading. John Baker's going to have a look up the inside. Max Coates in 3rd, still really just getting used to the car. Reynolds had a very good start in treble 7, looking to maybe grab another podium. Here's John Baker though, challenging on the outside as they head onto the far side of the circuit here, coming down towards Sunny. So it's Greg Saunders, the race leader. And again, this reverse grid racing, it gives you such a great opportunity as Baker goes on the inside at Sunny, has a look. Max Coates has a little look on the outside line, tucks back into the racing line here. John Baker goes to the outside. Is Coates going to follow him? This is where we saw Callum Easton go off in race 1. Baker goes to the outside. Max, I think, has read this well. Grabs the inside, and is he going to hang on to 2nd place? Greg Saunders goes wide in the lead, and Max Coates is going to grab the lead on the inside from 3rd to 1st. Richard Davis round the outside of Greg Saunders, who's down in 3rd place at the moment. John Baker still in 2nd. What an opening lap. We've had Gary Mitchell in the mix as well. Down the straight they go. Super opening lap, and you know, again, this comes back to this wonderful reverse grid racing, and just reversing groups of 6 cars doesn't upset the apple cart too much. It's an inspired regulation that they have in the championship. Now Max Coates had to use all his racecraft to read what was going on there. It was maybe fortuitous with Greg Saunders running wide, but he placed the car well as they went into the complex, cleanly through into the lead. John Baker into 2nd. Here's John, he's going to have a go for the lead, goes for the inside at Tower. Max left the door open slightly in the Liquid Molly car side by side, and John Baker is going to take the lead, but Max is going to try and hang on the outside line as they head down through into the Jim Clark S's. Here's the man with his nose in front at the moment. Well, no, he isn't. But Max Coates has got his nose back in front. The Liquid Molly car gets a better run and reclaims the lead, but super stuff from Jonathan Baker. Marshall's busy dealing with, is that a bit of detritus? It is detritus on the track, one of the floppy markers. Useless things really, those markers, you've got to say. They just end up getting picked up. But it's Jonathan Baker in P2, having had the lead momentarily with the front of the car just popping in front of Max, but super side-by-side stuff from the pair of them. Richard Davis is in 3rd, started 3rd. Max Coates started in 2nd place and is the leader. John Baker started 4th, so he's made the most ground out of the 3 runners occupying potential podium slots at the moment. Sean Reynolds here chasing Gary Mitchell, looks to the outside. Mitchell in the AST car. Now Liam McGill, of course, has won the championship, not starting today. It sort of gives everyone else a breather. There's a sort of feeling of renewal in the paddock and on track. It's the pressure to some extent is off. Lots of drivers chasing silverware, of course. I mentioned Simon Rudd not here, and his 2nd position in the championship will be under threat. Rudd, as I was going to say in race number 1, 3rd in the career point standings after just 2 seasons of Focus Cup racing. And you can use Focus Cup as an introduction to motor racing, as you heard Sarah Hall say. You can also use it as a reintroduction, which I think is what Simon Rudd did. So, you know, we have experienced drivers, lesser experienced drivers, and drivers from all over the country and all age ranges coming to race in this championship. And you don't have to worry about the preparation. This is a wonderful in-car shot from Gary Mitchell chasing Richard Davis. Sean Reynolds is in behind and has had a very good opening part to this race. A bit of a muddly time for him in race number 1, as Gary Mitchell continues to put the pressure on Richard Davis. So Avis running in 3rd place in the Powerflex car. I haven't seen a lot of Claire Avis, his other half in this race, or this today's racing, to be perfectly honest. And running wide there is Avis, and through goes Gary Mitchell. So Gary Mitchell up into third place. Max Coates is, as perhaps you might expect here now, really getting to grips with the car, starting to pull away. In car with Richard Davis, wants the position back from Gary Mitchell. He's not going to get it there at Clervaux. Sean Reynolds in the mix right behind. Out of Clervaux, into Hawthorn now. Avis keeping it nice and tight. Mitchell using a sweep. We've seen that the outside line can be effective. I get told off for calling it an outside line. People say the line is the line, but you can go inside or outside. Many formulas will prove that. Max Coates the leader. Jonathan Baker looking for a fourth podium of the year, currently in second place. Sean Reynolds putting Richard Davis under pressure now. Reynolds running a little bit wide as they go into Tower. Greg Saunders from pole is in sixth place. So Greg in 34th, that's where he finished in race number 1. And now Gary Mitchell putting Baker under pressure. Let's see what Mitchell could do. Baker's having to fight for this. This is in theory what we could have seen in race number 1. Mitchell looks to the outside, goes too wide, hits the grass, back goes Richard Davis through on the inside. Gary Mitchell having a lot of fun though in the car for sure. So it's Coates now, still the race leader. Second position John Baker, third position is Richard Davis. Richard with one podium, that was all part race 2. One podium so far this year, we should say. So Gary Mitchell now trying to fight back. Love the in-car shots, but there's so much to see with what's going on, but a great place to look is in the mirror and at the driver's eyes, just to see what the driver is doing, focusing on what's going on up front, having a quick glance in the mirror to see what's going on, maybe casting a look side to side to see if anyone is taking the battle to the inside or the outside. They're great shots. And Gary Mitchell proving not to be race rusty this weekend with that win in race number 1. That 62 car has done a lot of winning this year, with Scotsman Liam McGill at the wheel. Becomes our 4th champion in Focus Cup Championship racing. And here comes Gary getting a very good run on Richard Davis and drives past him on the way into Tower. Is the move complete? Let's again look at the eyes of Mitchell. He flick away from that shot. We're just going to see whether Gary was looking to the inside. Here's the clear track view for Max Coates, as you would expect from the former Clio Cup star, British Touring Car Championship racer as well, leading this one with aplomb here at Croft. Sean Reynolds with the box seat here of seeing Gary Mitchell powering his way past Richard Davis. 62 car gets the move done. You can see Sean Reynolds closing in. The Reynolds Dryline 777 car working hard. So out of Tower, down through the Jim Clark S's. Still Max Coates the leader. Fastest lap in race 1, by the way, was Gary Mitchell in the 62 car. And we've only had fastest laps this year for Simon Rudd and Liam McGill prior to that. So nice to have another different winner to add to the collection. And we may well have another winner here, of course, with Max Coates out front, doing what Jamie Osborne did last year at Donington. And Sean Reynolds continues the chase of Richard Davis coming into the complex. So Avis from Reynolds. Simon Walton is next up. So although saying he wasn't going to get involved, Simon Walton, he is very definitely up with the podium group. So he's getting stuck in and maybe enjoying a little bit of a race. Across the line they go. Black and white flag going out, probably for track limits. As Reynolds has a look at Avis. Outside runners, they head down into Clervaux. Avis under pressure. The Powerflex car will, as a result, lose a little bit of ground now on Gary Mitchell. It's still Max Coates, the race leader, from Jonathan Baker in second place. Gary Mitchell is in third. Max has got a good, comfortable lead of things at the moment. And although he's not familiar with the car, he does know the track very well indeed. Max not getting too much in the way of coverage here. Simon Walton is closing in, though there is Simon in the 99, so this will change the dynamic potentially for Sean Reynolds out front. Walton clattering over the curbs and a little bit further as he comes out of Tower. Can't quite see the eyes. I said to look for the eyes of the driver in the mirror, and such is the angle there of Simon Walton's mirror. He can't quite see it, but what we could see was that he was very much focused on the road ahead and the car ahead, the 777 car, which is there, the predominantly green and red 777. Simon Walton is still there. A little bit of a gap back behind Simon Walton. Now, is that Claire Avis or Greg Saunders behind? We'll need to grab a quick look, if we can, look into the distance. So it's Coates still leading from Baker and Mitchell, then Reynolds. Simon Walton in the Amazon Prime Ford liveried car goes into the hairpin once again. Only got Brands Hatch left, as we heard from Callum Eason. Pit lane, or pit wall shot, sees the race leader Max Coates go through. John Baker in second. Jonathan looking for a second place of the season. And it's got Gary Mitchell though in fine form and running down the gap, closing up on him as they go through that kink, which is pretty much taken flat round into Hawthorn. Baker going a little bit wider now. I think he's maybe changed the lines from what we saw earlier on. Realised that you could go through there a little bit wider and gain a little bit more speed out of Hawthorn and up onto the back straight. So Coates, the race leader, lives very near to the circuit, lovely village called Scorton, as Mitchell looks on the outside, not afraid to put the AST car on the outside line at Tower. Didn't work for him then. Baker's under a lot of pressure here. This could have been the scrap for race number one. Remember, Baker qualified on meeting pole or round pole with Gary Mitchell in P2. Max Coates was P3, not P5 as he said on the grid in his initial interview with us at the start of the programme. Interesting battle between these two. Gary grabs the gear and continues his chase of Jonathan Baker. So heading down into the complex again. This is all about momentum for Mitchell coming in for the complex. Nice wide sweep in. How much speed can he carry? Would have maybe been looking for a gap on the inside here, which then converts to the outside for the hairpin, which is what he's got now. And again, he's taking a wide sweep in and will be hoping to try and get a run down the straight. And if he can get the outside, as Max Coates goes on to the last lap, hasn't quite got enough. Oh, okay, we're switching views here. Sean Reynolds has got a run, and Reynolds makes it past. So Sean Reynolds goes past. Simon Walton will go past as well. And Richard Avis finds himself now down in 5th position. Disappointment for Avis on the final lap, or going through at the end of the penultimate lap onto the final lap, as we watch John Baker and Gary Mitchell still involved as well. Mitchell didn't get the better of that run out of the hairpin, and it looks as if John Baker might have enough breathing space to hang on to 2nd position, but Max Coates is going to take a debut meeting win in the Liquid Moly number 7 car, acquitting himself very well indeed. It is not easy for guest drivers to come in and qualify well, which Max did in 3rd position. And okay, started P2 in this partially reversed grid, but we saw some excellent racecraft from Max, as ever we would in the early stages of this one, to take the lead. We go in car with Max, the smooth style of Max Coates. I was lucky enough to have a passenger ride with Max before. I think it was in the last time I had it actually was at Blighton in the Ginetta Junior, and he's one heck of a pilot. Fast, incredibly fast, but also incredibly smooth. Words can't really describe the feeling you get being a race driver passenger. But Max Coates, a winning driver in many formulae, and about to add another to his very impressive race CV. Again, smooth, calm, controlled, but fast. Has a quick look in his mirror, and on his home circuit will delight friends and family here with the checkered flag. There is the win for Max Coates. There's the checker. 2nd position will go to John Baker. A great 2nd position for him, fending off Gary Mitchell. Sean Reynolds in 4th place. A fine drive from Sean from row 4 on the grid. Richard Avis picking up 5th position. But it's the Liquid Moly car of Max Coates that takes the race win here at Croft, waves to the marshals and friends and family here. Coates the winner, Baker second, Mitchell third, Reynolds and Avis fourth and fifth, Simon Walton sixth from Claire Avis, Greg Saunders, Simon Watts in ninth and Sarah Hall in 10th.
So, second race in Focus Cup and a first victory. Max Coates, what a pleasant journey down the road it was for you in the end.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm really happy with that. After the last couple of weeks of a fair few disasters, it's nice just to bring it home, and it's even better with a win.
Well, there you go. You've won in a front-wheel drive, you've won in a rear-wheel drive, and now you've won in a diesel. That's not a bad hat trick.
Yeah, so something else to add to the list. So, yeah, it's good. I really enjoyed it. First lap was a pretty good scrap with Greg and a few others, and it was sort of like three abreast at times, which was great fun. I think that's clearly what Focus Cup is all about. So I've had a bit of a blast and really enjoyed the racing.
So anybody who's looking to go and have a play in this Arrive and Drive series, just turn up and go racing. It's not a bad one for you.
Yeah, change gear earlier than you think, but apart from that, it's all pretty similar. So the racing's great, and the cars are very evenly matched, and I think that's great for anybody coming into a series, and a very much a friendly paddock that's really welcome in and had a nice time.
Well, the next time you're in the Toka paddock, you know what championship to recommend to them all now, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's great fun.
Yet another step closer to that elusive first Focus Cup victory there for John Baker. That was a tight one.
It was tight, it was close. Got a really good start, got into second, and I was pushing, but my ABS went again after, I think it was 1 or maybe 2 laps, so I just struggled into the big braking areas, so I just had to kind of hold back, make sure I didn't lose that second place. But yeah, I'm chuffed.
Well, you're sniffing this victory.
So
I mean,
close.
Do you know what? You're not going to be holding back at Brands Hatch, are you?
I'm certainly not going to hold back at Brands Hatch now. If the car's on song, I'll be on song. I'm going to bring it, that's for sure.
I mean, there's still plenty of opportunities. Another double header, so a lot of races still to go at the end of this season. The target, I guess, has got to be top 3 in the driver standings.
I'd like to try. I don't know if there's enough points for me to get there, but I'll give it my best. There is a lot of points still left to have over the 2 weekends. We'll just see what we can do. Yeah, I mean, Brands is a local track. I know it quite well, so yeah, let's see what we can do for that one.
Well, what a positive way to round off the weekend here at Croft for Gary. A 3rd position, and you really had to work for that podium too.
Yeah, I did. Me and Richard had a good battle to start with, and me and John had a good battle, and Richard come back again, and yeah, I don't think I hit any apexes, and still managed to claw my way through, but it was a very competitive pack there.
And this is the thing, with this circuit as well, you do know it very well, but it's not easy to overtake here. It's very narrow.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's not like when you're qualifying where you've got one line and that's it. With people on the track, you've got so many different lines you need to try and take and get past people, and they're trying to do exactly the same as you, but defending, and then it's just, it makes everything quite interesting.
So now, when everybody goes to Brands Hatch and asks for your advice, they know it's concrete, they know it's really solid, because you come away with 2 podiums.
Yeah, they normally they ask me, and I'll say, well, what I used to run is, and then they go, no, and then
They won't be saying that now, will they?
No, chance to jump in and go, see, told you. So yeah, it's a nice chance to get into the cars and obviously working with the guys and seeing how everything runs and the work that goes into everything. It's quite nice just to show that it works.
Yet another solid performance to be the leading AM driver home. Claire Avis, so close to that overall podium. You can almost taste it now.
Yeah, it's kind of my goal. I need to have a proper trophy. Well, not that it's not a proper trophy, but yes, it would be lovely to have a podium one day. But yeah, we're working towards it.
And you've had 4 races at Croft in a row, and 3 of them have ended up with a trophy. So you're obviously really getting towards that now. Heading to Brands Hatch, the last doubleheader of the season. What are your chances there, do you think?
It's my local track, so it's one I've driven the most. I don't want to jinx anything because I hate to do that. But yeah, I know where I'm going at least. So fingers crossed. There might be that podium. You never know.
And of course, there's that elusive battle in the Avis household as to who does the dishes on Christmas Eve, I'm supposing.
Well, he doesn't like being beaten by me, to be fair. But yes, there will always be a battle. I'm there now. I'm right on his tail. So yeah.
Fantastic. Plenty to discuss on the journey home, at least.
Absolutely. Yeah, always is. But yes, it's nice that we can. I enjoy racing on track with Richard. You know, I think the dynamic husband and wife, you know each other. So there's that immediate trust, and I know what he's going to do, he knows what I'm going to do, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's good fun racing together.
Here's the championship table. Liam McGill and Simon Rudd still 1 and 2, of course. Richard Avis 3rd from Callum Eason and John Baker. Simon Watts in 6th from Claire Avis in 7th. A big congratulations to our silverware winners in race 2. Thanks for your company today. Please join us again at Brands Hatch.